Hi guys, it's Glenn from Glenn's Car Collection, and you're about to watch part 2 of the E90 M3 review. Again, an M3 that I was the original owner on. This M3 is now for sale from the second owner. If you're interested in purchasing it, please email me at glenscarcollection@gmail.com. If you want me to review your car, please email me at glenscarcollection@gmail.com. Thanks for watching. Alright, so this is not ideal conditions, as I said earlier. It's, well, now it's 21 degrees and we're about to have a snowstorm here in New Jersey. So it's not the ideal time to be driving this car, certainly, but it is the ideal time to drive. To buy it. The time you want to buy these cars is really right now, the January, February, so you have it for the spring. This is certainly the car to buy, especially with a 6-speed manual transmission. I haven't driven a DCT for these cars. I've driven it on the new M5s, and not that it's good, but I just think this is more involving. I mean, this is probably one of the best shifter feel that BMW has made. The shifter is a nice short throw. What I love about the M3s is it's a nice light clutch. Like if you've ever driven like a GT3 Porsche, you have that heavy clutch and you're sitting in traffic. This car is no problem sitting in traffic. And this was the first car I ever owned, and again, I'm the original owner for this car, where it has the brake assist with the clutch. I was, going in and out of Hoboken a lot at that time, and there's a steep hill there, and that's when I first realized that the car doesn't roll back when you're, shifting it going into first gear. So it'll hold the, on a hill, it'll hold the brake for you for 2 seconds, and you don't have to worry about rolling backwards. So even if you've never driven stick before, this is a car that you could easily learn to drive stick, because that's really the hardest part when you first start out, is not to roll back. So again, it's the roads are being salted, snow's coming, it's very slick out. We have summer tires, so we have to drive very conservative, but I had this car for 6 years, which is forever for me. So I bought it with 0 miles on it, and I believe I sold it with about 38,000 miles. Does that sound right?
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. So I sold it a little over 3 years ago. What was it?
September, October.
September, October of 13?
Yep.
So a little over 3 years ago. We're filming this in January of 17, so I would say about 40 months ago. And it's really coming back to me. Sometimes you drive like your old car and it doesn't, like, you know what I mean? Like you forgot how it was, but this is, it's definitely coming back to me. I spent a lot of time driving this car. And I use this car as a daily driver. I didn't really drive it in the snow, but I did put winter tires. I had a set of Blizzaks. When it snows, they plow the roads. The hardest part is getting out of your driveway. Once you're out of your driveway, by the time you get to the main road, it's clear. And with Blizzaks, I never had a problem. I always had access to a Jeep Cherokee, so if it was really like 6 inches of snow or a foot of snow, this car would stay locked away in the garage and I'd drive the Jeep. I remember gas mileage I got with this car, no matter how I drove it, I averaged about 17.6 miles to the gallon. Does that sound right?
That's very good.
Yeah, and that's not bad. So the original window sticker, which you probably have, right?
I still have it.
Yeah, so it was 1420. It was 14 city, 20 highway. So if you average those two numbers, it's 17. So I don't think that's bad if you drive this car normally or spiritedly, and you're averaging 17.6. That's actually very good, I would say. It's a 6-speed, obviously, so in 6th gear you can actually get decent gas mileage. Again, this engine revs to 8,000 RPM. It's got that movable red line when the car's cold. I think the red line is somewhere around 5,000, 6,000 when you first start it up on a cold day. About 6, and then it'll actually go up to the 8,200 red line. I love these dials. I think these were one of the best dials for BMW, and you have all the information on your screen here. And again, we're just driving very conservative because it's not my car anymore, and it's also slippery. Very easy to heel toe. I'm wearing boots because of the weather, and even with my size 13 boots, it's very easy to heel toe because the pedals are nice together. Very easy to shift. Very light clutch. I like light clutches. BMW always does a good job with clutches and shifters. That guy's like, why is that M3 driving in this weather? I think the sedans are the best ones to get. And again, we're on a back road here. It's terrible weather, so we can't do it, but this is where this car really lives. The rear-wheel drive nature of this car is just much more fun. I prefer to have a rear-wheel drive car with winter tires, actually, than an all-wheel drive car. All-wheel drive car, you get all that understeer, and you know, how many days a year is it going to snow? 5 or 10. You can certainly get away with just putting a good set of winter tires on your car. These cars also make good track cars. We won't run over joggers. They're jogging in this weather.
Dedicated.
Yeah. These make great track cars with proper tires. Any of the E-Series BMWs make a great track car, whether it's the coupe or the sedan. You would want to just upgrade the brakes. I've tracked lots of cars from BMWs to Corvettes to Porsches, and I can tell you there's no street car that has the proper brakes to be a track car unless you have ceramic brakes. So the first thing you would do is you know, do a heavy-duty track pad. If you're really handy, you can even change those at the track and have a street pad and a track pad. These PS2s are great tires. What I like about them as a daily driver tire is they're very good in the rain. Again, they're not a track tire. If you were buying a car like this to track, I would go with some stickier rubber, but PS2s are great if this is going to be an everyday car for you. The front of these cars are very low to the ground, so we're going through some speed bumps here that you just got to be careful. This lip is a lot lower than you think. And again, this car is available for sale. You can email me at glenscarcollection@gmail.com, and I can give you the information. I think after this video, this car is going to sell quick. You also have the buttons on the steering wheel here. You can answer the phone from the steering wheel. Obviously, it's got Bluetooth. You have volume control. I think you can even cycle through the radio options like CD. This actually has a CD. And the stereo on these cars is very good. The mirrors fold in, if I remember correctly. Again, it's an easy car to drive, even if it's your first car with stick, because you don't have to worry about the clutch. You won't roll back on hills, which is really the biggest challenge. This is a sunroof delete car, which basically just means that I didn't order the sunroof, or the person didn't order the sunroof, so we call it a slick top car. The E92s, which were the coupes, came with the carbon fiber roof. So the E90s, which are the sedans, if you didn't order anything, you'd get no sunroof, and that's what I did because I didn't want a sunroof. But you could order a sunroof, and you do see most of these cars with sunroofs. So anytime I'm looking for a 6-speed sedan, the majority of the time you'll find one with a sunroof. So I think this is really the car to buy because it doesn't have the sunroof. Yeah, you can really hear this engine. Now, you put an exhaust on this car?
Yes.
That was probably the one thing that I should have done that I didn't with this car, is put an exhaust on it.
It has the vegan catback.
Oh, wow.
With the burnt tips, matches the car really well.
You know what? I'll have to film that. But that sounds really good, this exhaust. That's the one thing it was missing. I was using it a lot for work, so a lot of times I'm on conference calls for work, so I didn't really want to have exhaust noise in the background, but I kept this car 100% stock. The owner here has done some great options with the black grills and the tint, and it looks better than ever, that's for sure. And the one thing I was probably missing with this car was sound, and you fixed that as well. These are very reliable cars. I mean, maintenance is minimal on these cars. I think it needed service every 10,000 miles. Does that sound right?
It's every 10,000.
Yeah, and what I would do is, you know, some years I drove it a lot when I first got it because it was a daily driver, and towards the end I probably drove it less. And I always made sure I got an annual oil change. And BMW had the free service, so the good thing about these cars is when they were new, everybody had the 4-year, 50,000 mile service. So pretty much any one of these cars that you look at will be highly maintained. And that's really, you know, I always think cars are almost like kids and parents. If the kids had good parents, they'll be good adults. And if these cars had good owners, they'll be good cars that last for a long time. And this car had 2 great owners, 2 enthusiasts who really cared about the car. And for cars like this, I usually prefer to buy it privately because you can get all the service records. You know that this was enthusiast. I think I sold this car to you. Was it on the M3 form or M3 post? How did you see it?
It was the M3 post.
Okay. So I had posted, I've been on the M3 form forever since I had my E46 M3. And then I think at some point I went to M3 Post and I listed this car for sale on both. And anytime you list a car for sale, you get no interest right away, and then when the car is coming for sale, you get like 50 people start calling you.
Yep.
And I remember when you were coming to look at this car, I was literally standing in the parking lot waiting for you, and like somebody called me from like, I don't know, across the country.
And they were flying in.
Yeah, and they were gonna like fly in, and I'm like, no, I think this guy is coming now. I think he seems serious that he's gonna buy it. And he's like, oh, call me back. So that's the way it works. You have nobody, and then you have everybody.
When it rains, what's the saying go?
What's that?
When it
rains it pours.
When it rains it pours.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is typical New Jersey weather here, which is overcast. We just have gray skies until spring. But we'll get some more action shots in the car here. I just love V8 engines. I grew up on American V8s. You know, when I was a kid, I bought used Mustangs and Camaros because that's all I could afford. And then, you know, later some used Corvettes. So V8 engines are still my favorite type of engines. And this car, what I like about the sedan is you can fit your whole family. If you have kids, you can certainly fit 2 baby seats in the back. If you don't have kids and you just want to fit your buddies, they can fit in the back, no problem. It has a real back seat. You know, the problem with the E92 coupe is that you know, getting back to the back seat. And if I remember correctly, you have a lot less headroom and hip room on the coupe than you do the sedan. So here you have 4 real doors. This is a real usable car. Especially if you're married and have kids, you want to sell the wife, just tell her it's you know, a fancy 3 Series, and you can take the kids to school in it. Well, this was our review of the E90 M3, and again, I was the original owner of this car. This car has had 2 enthusiast owners. This is for sale right now. Email me at glenscarcollection@gmail.com, and I'll provide you with the seller's information. This is a great car. I can attest to its condition, and if you're looking for a V8 M3, I think the E90 and stick with the Sunroof Delete is the one to buy. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video, be sure to subscribe to our channel, and be sure to share these videos so we can grow our channel. Thanks again for watching.